Today we are talking about...
I told her to stop banging her hands together when she's giving points. So the much anticipated video of the 2024 numbers for our short-term rental in Luray, Virginia is here. We're going to be sharing how much we made this past year, along with what we did in the previous year to kind of compare the two. We're going to talk about like upgrades we made to the property, expenses, and overall feelings with the property.
And profit, if there was any. Let's start with 2023. Picture us in 2023. Very stressed out because of this property. At the end of the year, made $35,197, which is fine. We ended up, I think, breaking even because our expenses were less that year.
Yeah, we added some mini splits, which I think were about $3,000 or $4,000. And the revenue across the year was kind of like your typical summer property where
you can look. I'll put the
it
graph
kind of
here.
is like just a hump, and then in the winter months, it's sort of a little
pretty stagnant.
Yeah,
which we always knew that buying the property was going to be seasonal, but we didn't know it'd be this seasonal. And the reason we were crying, not just the money part, it was just so stressful. There were problems all the time. There was small stuff, but yeah, it was just a stressful property. We also hated going there. We went in the summer, and I remember sitting on the front porch crying and being like, we need to sell this place, because every time we went, we would just work the whole time, and we just didn't have any fun. At that point, we decided we're putting it on the market. So we put it on the market in
like June of 2024.
With the hopes to sell it and just be done with it. We like felt such a weight off our shoulders when we put it on the market. So I'm just looking at our listing. It's been up for 15 hours. Ask me how many times I've looked at the saves, and now I'm comparing the saves on our house and the views to other houses in the area that have been put up for the same amount of time, and ours has the most saves. It kind of sat for a bit. We got a few offers here and there every so often, and then just in the end, like, everything fell through. All right, we just are about to accept an offer on the Luray house, and it was kind of crazy. We got 2 offers in the last 2 days, I think. The first offer was really bad, and it was making us mad. It wasn't really bad, but it wasn't what we wanted. It was making us mad, and they were just being little buttholes. And then as soon as we were like, fine, we'll do it, we'd like gone back and forth. We kind of came to terms. Like, we were still making a good profit, but we just felt annoyed about it. Then we got another offer in the nick of time. People would either walk away or they'd ask for a lot of money off. It's an old house. So just for different reasons, we ended up not selling it. But that takes us into our 2024 profit. As you can see, the graph is much different. Why is that?
Well, if you look at March, that's when we got our hot tub installed. So we like ran the electric, got a brand new hot tub. We put about like almost 10 grand into just that investment into the property, and it really just kind of
slowly, yeah, started doing better.
And it was weird because like the summer months, we didn't make as much as the year before.
Yeah.
But if you look at the fall and winter, like it just exponentially more than the year before.
And I think another thing that we did, we got price labs, which we should have done that from the beginning. That's just us being cheap and not wanting to pay for the software.
What's that?
Price labs, it basically looks at the market in the area and puts a price on your nightly price. It
basically is it's comparing your house to other properties. It kind of looks at the supply and demand. If it's like getting close to the date that you're about to book, it'll kind of drop the property price. So cheaper for the guest who wants to stay there. Around the holidays, it can really spike the price depending on what prices other people are booking for. So it kind of is taking that data and applying it in real time to your house.
It makes your nightly rate competitive. There's a concise way to say it. So we found that it actually really helped us, and I think that's why you see our November, December, those months really tick up, because before we were just setting a price and guessing it, or we'd forget to change it for holidays, and we just were like missing out on honestly thousands of dollars.
It happened a few times. I feel like one year around like the 4th of July, we just kept it kind of like any other weekend in July, and somebody got like a really good price. If
you haven't done that, get Price Labs. There you go, free little advertisement for Price Labs. Sponsor us. So in 2024, we made $45,629. That was like 10 grand more than the year before.
You want a high five?
Yes. Ow.
Yeah, I'm proud of that number, just like year over year. It was like a realistic growth. You're not going to shoot your like profit up year over year, 20,000. That'd be a ton.
I mean, people probably do, but for us, we don't, and that's fine.
I'm a simple man. I'm happy with that. Very optimistic for the future.
Yeah.
Because the reason why we we put it on the market, we kind of saw that the writing on the wall when it was the early spring, we're not doing as good as the year before. Yeah. And we had just invested money in a hot tub, and that felt like a rash decision. Is this really wise? And then it kind of was a little defeating because we just didn't want to have the 10 grand out, and then we knew we probably wouldn't recoup that when we tried to sell it.
Which we would have. Even with one of the lowest offers, I think we still would have recouped it. But at that point, we thought the house was worth more. It appraised for a lot more, and they were trying to get it for a lot less. Yeah, we're not going to go with that offer. Yep. And a lot of other offers were like that.
And we probably didn't have the best bargaining chip because the rates were kind of high last year. And I mean, they're still high if you follow like the market. It's really more of a buyer's market than a seller's market. Yeah. And I feel like all buyers kind of realize that.
But let's look at our expenses for 2024. So our everyday expenses, like just typical monthly expenses, mortgage, water, electric, internet, pest control, garbage, lawn maintenance, CapEx, cleanings. That monthly average was $2,685. That includes the cleanings too. And every clean we pay our cleaner $220, and that includes our hot tub cleaning as well. The house, by the way, is
1864.
4 bedrooms,
2 bathrooms.
2 bathrooms on like an acre and a half. Mm-hmm. So that gives you specs. It's a big house, lots of beds. Anyways, but for the year, our total expenses were $32,221. So you can see already there, we'd be making $13,000 in profit. But wait, back to the upgrades and maintenance. So as we said before, we added a hot tub for about 10 grand all in. Once the gravel area was laid, electric done.
And we did a lot of the work that we could possibly do ourselves, but we still have to run new wires. We didn't do that. Like put a disconnect. Just a brand new installation of the hot tub was, I mean, we bought
like $8,000.
Yeah, it was. You couldn't kind of get around that. There wasn't too many like hot tub areas in the Page County, in like surrounding area around Luray. So you kind of just forced to go with this 1 or 2. And we didn't want to get a used one because it's going to be pretty abused being part of a vacation rental.
So we did that. We got a grill, which we actually got that for free through like a sponsorship. We put up a volleyball net. We made some horseshoe pits. So we just really tried to make the outside area more attractive. And I think all those things, it really made people want to come to the property.
And it made like our pictures much more attractive.
Other things we did, we got updated professional photos of outside after we had done all the updates. We did a coaching call with somebody, which that was really helpful. It was only for like maybe an hour or 2. But yeah, he gave us some great tips. And he was the one who was like, you need to get price labs. Other little repairs, we had to get the mini splits repaired once. We had to get the septic tank pumped. That was like $500. We had to get the well filled because there was a drought, and we had to drain the hot tub, and then the hot tub water was brown, and then we had no water in the house. There were still issues. There just is. But overall, way less stressful of a year.
I got nothing to add. You said that perfectly.
Okay, so all of that came to
$11,814.
There's all our profit gone. Minus $1,000.
Yeah, so probably like $1,000 or $2,000.
Yeah.
But if you look at it as what you can do in the future, so like the hot tub, basically we already paid it back. So the hot tub was about $10,000, so that's paid back. So you just gotta look at future expenses. Like you're still saving, and there's gonna be things that break, but just year over year, if you can do similar numbers to last year, like it looks very optimistic for the future. But our goal is not to do similar numbers.
No. And we feel hopeful for 2025 because our January and February already did so much better than last year. In January of this year, we made $3,000. In February, we made $2,400. And the year before, we only made like $500 to $600 each month. And so we're already doing better.
It was like one booking for one weekend of each month, and it was like really small and cheap.
So we feel encouraged about just how the year's gonna go. Again, the property has felt way less stressful. I feel like we finally have like worked out the kinks of the house. We have a good team down there. Everything is going smoother, and guests seem to like it. Our reviews are really good. And we also hope that we're not going to be doing as many reinvestments this year on the house. So we're hoping not to spend like another $11,000. I think we'll have, a couple $1,000s here and there. We're already getting a chimney.
Reflashing our chimneys and capping them, because one of the chimneys is kind of leaking a little bit.
So that's like $3,000 or $2,500, I think. We hope that was helpful, us being transparent about our numbers, so you can actually see what it's like to run a short-term rental. And by the way, we live 3 hours away from this. That adds to the stress and complications.
So you can see, like, with all the money you make, there's not sometimes as much profit as you think there is.
At least for us. Maybe we're doing it wrong. I don't know. We're learning.
They're getting better year by year.
Next video, we're gonna share what our profit, revenue, expenses were for a midterm rental in Baltimore.
So this will be the house that we actually lived in 2018. We lived there up until 2021.
So we've been renting it 4 years. So we have some data. We'll share that.
Yay for data.